Clocking crew, thank you so much for clocking in with your girl Lo. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm releasing a new playlist on this channel called Flick and Sip, where I review movies and I sip on some drinks. So let's get right into this video. Today's choice of drink is lemon ginger tea and H2O, and the movie of choice is the musical comedy drama of 1982, Grease 2. So let's get into the video, okay? It is 1961 at Rydell High School. We are breaking out into a song of going back to school. Wow. And literally, that is what the title of the song is. We are shown coordination. Wouldn't go that far, no. But we are introduced to stiffness, to movement. But we are here to do what we are here to do, which is dance and sing, which we did for a whole 6 minutes. Very long, but it is accomplished, okay? We are also introduced to our love interests, Michael, an exchange student from England, and Stephanie, a very independent, I know my worth kind of lady. The intro ends with the whole Rydell student body, which is this school is huge, okay? But we end with them entering the halls of Rydell, and we are introduced to the extent of the main cast. Johnny, a very immature, very impulsive young man, and he is followed by his gremlins who have no depth to them. And so we're going to call them Johnny's crew. And we are introduced also to the extent of the pink ladies, which we're going to call Stephanie's friends, Stephanie's crew. Okay. And we catch up with Michael, who is struggling to find his way at a school in America, but is hopeful and definitely optimistic young man. If I could explain the T-Birds in one word as a group,
what do you think you're doing?
Bullies. And Michael becomes their target to taunt throughout the movie, very weakly. I'm letting you know right now, if you're bullying out there, I need you to get your crap together. Whatever's going on, I need you to just get it together. There is definitely one concept throughout this movie that does not die, and that is sex. The crew decide to go bowling, and during this whole time, one of Stephanie's crew members, Paulette, is she's putting herself out there for Johnny. And Johnny is the biggest F-boy in the crew, okay?
That's for best average.
Mm-hmm.
And what about for best score?
His full attention, dedication is still stuck on Stephanie. And she's like, no. And he's like, okay, he can't, like an average control freak. He's like, no. If you're over me, you need to prove to the max that you're over me. I need you to kiss whatever guy walks through that door. If Michael gets that smooch right on his lips, and is shock, very shock. And one thing I could say about this movie that made me chuckle, every song, I feel like it leads someone either shock, mad, or sad. And for this specific song, it left Michael shock, and it left Johnny both sad and both mad. It is now the next day. We are brought into the Rydell Auditorium where the students are taking care of the auditions for the talent show. And Michael's good with the keys. He knows how to play them. He meets up with Stephanie again, and rightfully so. He's like, okay, what's up with that kiss that we just did? What's going on? And Stephanie, in a very average, I don't give two F's about anybody, is like, what are you talking about? It's a joke. Get over it. And just ruthless. I would feel bad. Can you imagine someone a kiss on you? Ew first. Well, but you're like, okay, I thought maybe you were, okay, never mind, you ain't interested? All right. Homegirl breaks out in song, and it's like, you're too good for me. And not a thing like, I'm a mess and you're great. It's like, no, you're too, boy next door. I'm not really feeling this. I need a rep. Michael's just like, oh, I can't really do that for you. And he kind of walks away, mad, but optimistic at the same time. And could you imagine if someone didn't want to be with you anymore? And they're just like, we're done, get out my face. Michael realizes, okay, the only way to get Stephanie's attention, I need to get a motorcycle. And he is approached by one of Johnny's minions. And he then realizes that these guys do not know how to go through school at all. And he's like, well, I can do cash for homework. Next scene is a very overly applied and probably one of the most cheesiest, but I do not know why, catchy songs of this whole movie. And these over sexualized and really hyper high school students go through health class and are introduced to how a sperm reaches an egg. Sorry. They're introduced on how a sperm reaches an egg. You know what I realized? Like, when I did health class, it was never this intense. I mean, you got a book, and it had, like, the weird animation drawing, and you had your awkward day to learn about condoms, and there was giggles, and then there were some people that knew what they were doing, and it was kind of like, nah. This whole time, while Stephanie is trying to advance herself, and, like, I'm trying to figure out who I want to be with, Michael is then practicing how to ride a motorcycle. So he is beginning to get the hang of that. And his, all his practice, all his dedication, his patience is going to finally be put to the test. We are then brought back to the bowling alley. So there has to be an enemy in Grease 2, and obviously not. It cannot be the T-Birds because they're way too weak for that. It is an older man named Leo, which I do not know Homeboy's age. But he was the rival in Grease 1. He specifically has a problem with the T-Birds. And of course the T-Birds cannot come against Leo alone, and together as a pack, they just cannot. But Michael becomes the mystery guy and the shiny knight in armor, and this by far is one of the most corniest movies in my mind, specifically because of this scene right here. Everyone around you thinks that you're a star. I just can't, okay? So Stephanie then realizes this guy that I ditched Michael for, who wasn't even visible to me yet, he's here now. Michael is, he rescues the day. The T-Birds are jealous, and Stephanie is just blown out of her socks. Wow, that's an old saying. Okay, and he does this very dramatic jump with goggles on, which I feel like you would not be able to see when it's being that dark outside. But anyway, and Stephanie kind of runs, but not really. So now he is torn between, do I keep pursuing this mystery man relationship with her, or can I just come clean with her? Next scene, it's really humiliating, this next scene. Like, this scene, it is in a comedy setting, but if this were to happen in real life, it is a shame. So one of the pink ladies is Sharon, and she's very big on her virginity. She's like, I'm not going to give it up to anybody. And Lewis is very, like, I just want to have it now. Let's do it now. Themselves in those bombing shelters that were built, pretty much staged as if a nuclear war has happened. If a war breaks out, we need to make sure we have sex and lose your virginity before a war starts, because that is what we do before war, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, two friends on the other side listening to see if Lewis is going to be able to, hit third base, which is so embarrassing. And if that is something that you plan on doing, just don't. That's awful. That is awful. And he tries to confess who he really is, but the crew definitely ruins that because they have no business whatsoever. The bright shining light of Michael is now beginning to burn out because he's beginning to realize that she will never be in love with him. She will always be in love with the persona that he has put on. I mean, some scenes are very cringeworthy in it, but I was definitely feeling the message, because it is true. I mean, a lot of us do really front with what we want people to see, and that's what they end up falling in love with, and we fear if that mask was off, will they still feel the same way? So I definitely did feel that one. Talent show night, and this is supposed to be the night where Michael pretty much pours his heart out that, hey, it is not who you think I am, this is really who I am. But instead, we go more into this Lifetime movie script.
That guy! This time we get him, Zanoni!
Johnny, no!
We went 0 to 100 really fast. And Johnny's weak self, whatever. If this movie was not put in a comedy setting, this scene would actually be really scary. This reminds of a Lifetime movie. Like someone being so jealous with envy, and then he has friends who would do anything for him for the fact of acceptance, and would chase someone to their death. It does remind me of a Lifetime movie. Those really old school Lifetime movies without the comedy aspect of it. Instead of us calling the police, you know, actually having a heart for this guy, it's like, oh yeah, he's dead, I think, and there's no body down there, so he's probably not dead.
I figured the guy to slow up. Right?
Stephanie is rightfully shocked, you know, to the core. And the friends are not like, oh, you know, maybe sit down, take a break. You don't have to check. You know, you don't got to do this. No, they're like, you better get up there and be this Christmas tree for us, okay? And which she does. But she breaks out in this solo. And, you know, that's what Steph does. You know, barely musting through. I mean, I would be a mess. I would be falling apart. And I'm a Leo, so I'm real dramatic, okay? My one question for this whole scene really is, if Rydell High School was a real school, I'm so curious about their budget, because my school would never ever go this hard on a Hawaiian themed party, and it's called like the Rock Lua. It's a long title. My school, if we had a Lua party, it'd be like, here's some Chex Mix, here's these $1 Dollar Tree plastic Hawaiian necklaces. There you go, kids. Homeboy from the bowling alley cannot get over his shameful defeat and is here to bust some knuckles and make a chaos. I just don't understand. Where's like the teacher security team for this school? All right, it's okay. And he's here to crash the party. And T-Birds are obviously being punkish. Comes up, I don't know really what happened to his jacket, and now it's like just sleeveless. So he comes against the Leo team, okay? And there was one part that made me kind of cringe. I don't know how this would be. Like, what would happen if, like, the motorcycle were to fall in the water and you were with it? I just always think if that would have happened, you would, like, fry. But anyway, he was finally able to relieve his mask off, and he's like, you know, he's the Rudolph of this movie, okay? I mean, the first thing she kind of has to say, I wouldn't say.
I thought you were dead.
But, boom, okay? Forgiveness of some kind. He makes Grace with Michael, and he becomes a T-Bird. They kiss, they smooch, and they graduate. That's pretty much into the movie. So, yeah, that's it. Wow, yeah, that was not as concrete as I thought it was gonna be. Okay. So I think the moral of this movie is kind of like, you know, with forgiveness, we can forgive our bullies. So when I say this movie's bad, or is it a trash, or it's a pass, or is it a fail? This movie, according to box office's prices, the acting, if you were to compare it to Grease 1, the corniness, sex kind of being the main concept throughout this whole movie, and the main message that consent doesn't really matter that much, you know, all women are made for is just to have sex with. No, not on my top list whatsoever. Good in a way that it is definitely a movie that you can rely on to give you a couple good chuckles along the way. Is that fair? I think that's fair. It is time to clock out with your girl Lo. Thank you so much for clocking in on the Sip and Flick, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Do it wrong, please slow down.